Hey, you kids, get off my lawn. Unless you're mowing it, let's see your mobile phone for initiative. Do as I say. What's up, a frowny face? Go out and play. Just like your parents did. Just like your parents did. As if your parents did.
Free audio post-production by Alphonic.com.
Hello and welcome to First Gen Gamers. I am co-host number 1, Jed. Co-host number 2 is Ashley. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
Not too bad. It is beautiful and sunny outside, and I'm excited to be recording. We have an unusual topic from the mind of Ashley.
As usual.
Yes, what is this unusual topic?
Best fake games in pop culture.
I had at first I had a hard time thinking of any, and then like once the dam broke, it was just okay, here's a whole bunch of them. And several of them from the same source, and I'm betting we're going to have some overlap on them.
Is it a movie?
Oh, a few of them are movies, but there's
the one that had the same source?
The one where there's like several from the same source, no, is a show.
Is it The Simpsons?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go first because my
Okay.
first one is from The Simpsons. I'm hijacking it. But I only have
That's
one.
fine.
So if
That's
you have
fine.
more than one.
Go for it.
Okay. Bone Storm.
That was one of them.
Okay, but you have more, right?
A couple more, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I don't feel bad because I'm not super familiar with The Simpsons. So the tagline for the game was "Buy me Bone Storm or go to hell." And I feel like, honestly, that's how literally every video game should be marketed. And it is basically a shameless parody of Mortal Kombat, all blood, zero plot, and 100% parental disapproval, which is part of the episode. Bart tries to shoplift it. Milhouse ends up getting a copy and ascends to God status. And the in-game footage is really chaotic. It's basically, I feel like the kind of game that would have caused maybe a congressional hearing in the 90s. But somehow still more polished than half of the actual games that drop still to this day.
That was the first game that I thought of. My brain just screamed out, "Buy me Bone Stormer, go to hell." It should be noted in that same episode, there's another fake video game. After Bart redeems himself for the shoplifting incident, Marge decides to get him a game as a reward. But instead of getting him Bone Storm, she gets him Lee Carvalho's putting challenge.
Oh my God, that sounds so boring. I'm sorry to those that like golf.
And from what the game or for what the show hints at, it's not even full golf. It's just putting.
That's literally my least favorite part of golf. That and when you're stuck in a sand trap. Could do without it.
Oh, yeah. So a whole game built around that. Just at least miniature golf is, even though it's all putting, you have to fuck with the windmill and the loop-de-loop and stuff like that. But just straight putting as a video game.
There's a game on Xbox. It's like an arcade game that a couple of my friends made me get. I think it's called like Magic Putt or something like that. And naturally, it's the game that I'm probably the worst at. To be fair, they're insane scenarios that would never be actual putting scenarios in real life. But every time I hit the ball too far, it goes off the map. It's just a fucking disaster every time.
So other games from The Simpsons, because I was a huge Simpsons fan. Still the original 9, 10, 11 first seasons. I still go back and rewatch them, even though I've seen them all dozens and dozens of times. One game that has appeared in it is My Dinner with Andre, based upon the incredibly wordy 1981 drama movie by the same name that stars Andre Gregory and Wallace Shawn. It is literally two people sitting at a dinner table having a conversation for the entire length of the movie. So the video game is just that. And it's an arcade game, and it's played by Martin Prince, the brainy kind of weird effete Brainiac in class. I remember he pushes buttons like there's a joystick and there's a couple of buttons, and one of them is witty rejoinder and pithy retort. Looks like the most boring game on the planet. It fits him, is all I can say. And the other game, I know there's others, and they all blend in. Because there's so many episodes of The Simpsons that I've seen. But the other one that comes to mind is this is like a full circle loop of it began in real life as a legend and then became something that was referenced in pop culture and then became a real game. And that is Polybius. There's a moment where it actually appears in the background of the arcade section at Moe's, I think, in one of the episodes. Of course, it's out of order. It's in The Simpsons. It's also in other things. I think it was in Gravity Falls. It was in the movie Summer of '84. Always seems to be out of order in everything that it's in. Yeah, based on the Polybius urban legend. And then now there actually is a Polybius game you could buy and play if you want.
That's crazy. There was one episode of The Simpsons that I watched when I was really young, and it was the one that made fun of X-Files. And I don't know if the old guy who's a teacher, I think he's a teacher, he has like the sweater vest on. He's
Ned Flanders?
Yeah, is he not a teacher? I don't know. Please don't hate me. I don't watch Simpsons enough to know. But did I say E.T.? I meant to say X-Files. The X-Files episode that kind of mocks the X-Files and he turns into an alien. There's like one scene where he's like walking like an alien. He's not necessarily an alien, but he's walking like one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's Mr. Burns. Okay. The owner. Yeah, it's the owner of the nuclear power plant.
Oh, my bad. But anyway, other than that, what brought me back to The Simpsons was, you're going to laugh, but Jennifer Tilly, because she was married to Sam Simon.
Really?
Yeah, that's why she's loaded, is because she has like 1/3 of The Simpsons empire. So much so, I don't watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I tried to get into it. It's too fucking bougie for me, but apparently she's a real housewife now. That's how loaded she is. She has like several houses and shit because she has 1/3 of The Simpsons empire. Fun fact. I know and love her as a scream queen, obviously, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Classic scream queen.
But yeah, fun fact. She brought me back to Simpsons recently because I was like, oh, is that why she's so rich? I never knew.
I had no idea either.
The more you know.
Need that little star to go across our lives right now.
Yeah.
All right, your turn. What's next for you?
Okay, so this is a show that's near and dear to my heart, almost as much as Curb Your Enthusiasm. And if you're good at guessing, yes, I'm talking about Seinfeld. And that's Killbot Factory. George gets pissed that Jerry and Elaine are playing this game without him. We only see a little bit of it, and it's just a 16-bit nightmare of robotic carnage. But I feel like it looks better than Rise of the Robots. And I feel like if you're the kind of person that gets salty about being left out of a fake robot genocide, then you're probably George Costanza anyway.
Saying it's better than Rise of the Robots is not a high bar to clear.
Exactly.
I think Yahtzee is better than Rise of the Robots.
Yahtzee's kind of fun.
It can be, unless you're trying to chase one of those stupid, like the full straight. Ugh. All right, my next one is also from a TV show. It's called Gravity Falls. The show is Gravity Falls, which was an animated show on Disney for a while in the early 2000s, late 2000s, early beginning of 2010s.
I haven't heard of this one. The show.
Gravity Falls is like it's such a beautiful show. It's only 40 episodes long on purpose. That's how long the creator wanted.
Only 40.
Well, Disney wanted to renew it, and he's like, no, I've told my story. This is it. It's about two kids, a pair of twins, who get sent to live with their great uncle for the summer in this middle of nowhere town in Oregon. And it turns out that there's all sorts of supernatural stuff happening in the town. And it turns out that there's actually some kind of conspiracy involving all sorts of weird shit. I don't want to give all of it away, but it is a breathtakingly intelligent show full of fun Easter eggs for adults to get while the kids are just being entertained by the simple humor. And there's 2 video games in the show. The first one is an episode from the episode called Fight Fighters, where Dipper, one of the twins, he ends up accidentally pissing off the singer of the band in town, and who's also the boyfriend of the girl that he's crushing on, an older girl. Dipper ends up he's in an arcade and he sees a code on the side of an arcade game for ultimate power, and he puts in the code, and the game is called Fight Fighters. It's a Street Fighter ripoff, and it makes one of the characters come out of the game into real life, but everything they do is like a video game. So like he takes the character back to his house, and the character is whose name is Rumble McSkirmish is running low on energy, and so he asks for some food. So Dipper gets out a taco from the refrigerator, and Rumble goes, "Place it on the floor." So he places it on the floor. Rumble ducks, it disappears. Then an item box pops up, and you see the item selection go down to taco. He selects taco. It says use. He selects use, and then it replenishes his health. So lots of little bits like that where you will recognize, where gamers will really recognize it. And like I said, the game itself, you only see a little bit of. Total Street Fighter clone. Rumble McSkirmish is Rue. The main bad guy in it is clearly M. Bison. But yeah, if you like fighting games, it's a good Easter egg. The other game, and I should have written it down because I remembered the other game while we were talking.
From the same show?
From the same show. Is an episode in the second season called Seuss and the Real Girl, where this character Seuss, who's the caretaker at the place where the two kids are staying, he buys a dating simulator to try and better. What?
Sorry to interrupt. Is this based off of the movie Lars and the Real Girl?
Sort of. There's a lot of pop culture references.
It's one of my favorite movies. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I actually just rewatched that movie 2 days ago. That's one of my favorite movies. Sorry, keep going.
That's okay. So he buys a dating simulator because he's lonely and he wants to like get better at talking to women and maybe get a date. So he buys a dating simulator video game, and it is a very obvious parody of a Japanese dating simulator type with the anime girls and the big eyes and the ridiculous options and poorly translated English. I remember the title screen of the video game has start, continue, and Shizenhaka, which translates into spontaneous human combustion. And over the course of the episode, it turns out that the game has actually become self-aware, and the main character starts to become possessive of the person playing the game. Even if you don't watch any of the other episodes, those 2 episodes alone for gamers are so full of video game Easter eggs that you will appreciate. But the whole show is beautiful. I'm not ashamed to say the last episode made me cry.
That's okay. I cry all the time.
I've watched almost every other episode dozens of times. I've only watched the final episode twice because I don't want to go through those emotions again. It's too beautiful.
Send it to me in a text message if you don't mind, because I want to try the show. Yeah, I like the Lars and the Real Girl reference, so I want to give it a try.
Yeah. All right. Your turn.
Okay. So I wrote this before the new season of Black Mirror came up. I don't want to talk about the video game. It's more like code that makes a game in the new season, just because I don't want to spoil it for people, but I thought about doing it, but I didn't because I don't want to ruin the episode. But there is an interactive version of Black Mirror that ties into one of the seasons. So it's like an interactive Black Mirror episode through Netflix, and it's called Bandersnatch. And I feel like this one tried to be deep. It's a choose your own adventure game based on a fake cursed book inside of an interactive show where you control a guy who's making a game that controls him in the show. So it's like meta on top of meta. You make choices, but not really. Everything sucked. Everyone suffers. So It wasn't like great, but I thought it was a neat way to tie in Black Mirror and a theme in the season with an interactive episode.
I keep meaning to check that out. I've
You
never
haven't seen
actually
any?
seen. I have not seen any Black Mirror.
Wait, what? What?
And I know I know I should. I really
Oh.
know I should.
They have US and UK episodes now, and I do agree that the UK episodes are better. Last season, there was one with Jesse Pinkman. What's his name in real life? Aaron
Paul.
Yeah, and Josh Hartnett. That episode fucking ruined me. That was the United States episode. I thought that episode was really good, but more times than not, I think the UK episodes are better. But the show is incredible. It is really dark, but it's really fucking good. Have you seen, is it called Love, Death, and Robots?
Can't even say I've heard of it.
Oh my God, it's also on Netflix. Please check that out too. They're two really, really good shows. One's animated, one's not. Black Mirror's not. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It is dark, but it's really good. And each episode is a separate episode, so you can watch them out of order.
You're going to have to send me a text to remind me of these.
I will. I'll send you like episode recommendations because there are some that I think are better than others. But yeah, the show overall is, I think, a masterpiece.
All right. I don't think that we would be doing our due diligence as gamers talking about fake video games in pop culture if we didn't reference the grandfather of these from the movie Tron.
Oh shit, I didn't even think of that.
Well, then I'm glad I did. Space Paranoids. It's a very basic vector graphics shooter game. Reminds me a lot of you'd only see a little bit of it in the movie. Reminds me a lot of Battlezone or Star Castle. Well, not so much Star Castle because that's a top down, but still it's very vector based, very of the time, very 1981, 82. But I love I cannot tell you how many times I rented or got my parents to rent Tron as a kid, and I always wanted Space Paranoids to be a real game, and kind of surprised they haven't done it yet. Seems like a missed opportunity that Disney could, especially with the new movie coming out, they could make the game and be like, look, cross merchandising, play the game that's part of the movie. No,
wait, there's a new one coming out?
Oh yeah, you didn't know? Yeah, Tron Ares. It comes out, I think, later this year. In news that will probably kill your enthusiasm for it. It stars Jared Leto.
Well, he's a fucking cult leader. Like, how? And I'm coming from somebody that loved him not only in movies like Fight Club and Dallas Buyers Club, but I also used to listen as an emo kid still to 30 Seconds to Mars. Now I can't look at him because he's a fucking weird cult leader. Why are they casting him? He's so fucking weird.
I don't know. I was watching the trailer because the trailer dropped like about a week ago. And I was watching it going, okay, Tron's coming into the real world now. Okay, fine. It looks fine, but it looks a little too slick and glossy. But I'm like, okay, I've seen the first two. I'll see the third. Why not? Oh, shit, Jared Leto.
Have you seen his cult photos? Like, he legit has a cult.
I have not. I know that he's
do me a favor, real
nuts.
quick. Just Google search real quick, Jared Leto cult, and you'll see pictures of everybody wearing white robes, him looking very much like our boy, Jesus Christ. It's real fucking weird. Like, it's so weird. I used to think he was so cool, and now I'm like, this dude is definitely the leader of a fucking cult. It's all like super young women, and they all dress the same.
This
you see
is
it?
weird.
See,
Yeah.
when I say he's a cult leader, I mean it. The dude has a fucking cult. It's weird. He has like a massive commune. It's bizarre. Like, it's weird as fuck.
There's this one picture I'm looking at where he's walking on what looks like a short stone wall, and there's a whole bunch of women walking around him. They're almost all wearing white. And the title of the article is The Cult of Jared Leto, Hollywood's oddest, most irritating star.
He has a fucking cult, like legit. It's weird as fuck. Why we're still casting him? If a chick did this shit, she'd never get a fucking role again. Let's carry that on to, let's hate men and women equally, I say. Take away their roles. I'm looking at you, Amber Heard. She's not a cult leader, but she shouldn't have any roles either.
But yeah, so there's a Tron 3 coming out, and
Can't watch it.
yeah, the minute I saw him, I went, yeah, I can skip that.
Was it Emil Hirsch in the first one?
No, I don't even know if he was alive for that one.
I mean, not the first one, the remake, sorry. The remake that came out like 15 years ago or so.
Oh God, I've
We're getting off
honestly
topic,
only
sorry,
seen that
guys.
one. I've seen that one once. I'm not seeing it in his filmography.
I know Jeff Bridges was in it. I might be making shit up. I don't know. I liked the 1982 one and the one that came out after, like 2010, I think. I liked both of them.
I love the first one. The second one was fine. Tron, what was it? Tron Legacy, I think.
Oh, Olivia Wilde was in it. That's right.
Yeah, it just didn't hit for me as much as the original did.
Apparently, Rotten Tomatoes didn't like it either.
All right. Well, what's next on your list?
Sorry, got derailed. I have 2 from one movie. Is it okay if I do them both?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Grandma's Boy. I'm sure you've all seen it. Please tell me you've seen Grandma's Boy.
I have not.
Wait, what? I think we've talked about this before. How? You would love that movie.
Isn't that an Adam Sandler movie?
No.
I'm looking at it right now. I don't even remember this coming out.
It has Nick Swardson, and then this guy plays JP, and JP reminds me of Elon Musk. Jonah Hill is in it. It's so funny. Like, it's a cult classic. The critic reviews may not be good, but the audience reviews are great. It's hilarious. But anyway, there's 2 fake games that come from that movie, Eternal Death Slayer 3 and Demonic. So let's start with The King, Eternal Death Slayer 3. It's a fake MMO, and I feel like it's a fever dream of every 2000 stoner developer who grew up on Doom, EverQuest, and maybe Hot Pockets as well. You don't really see the game, but it's described as a hyper-violent, like, gore fest that has death, demons, all of that jazz. It has, like, the energy of a guy that has wallets with the chains attached. And the villain is Demonic, who's voiced by the same guy who's coding the game while living in a lair that screams, I'm definitely on all of these lists. So I feel like the game would have launched, sold millions of copies, and maybe have been banned in several countries, but iconic nonetheless. And then you have Demonic. Apparently this got its own spin-off I haven't seen, and it was a horror action title where you play as the villain, and the villain shoots fire from his hands, levitates people, and has a face that's like weird Venom Spawn fan art. And apparently Midway Games actually started developing it in real life, but then they went bankrupt. Coincidence? Probably not. But now it lives in fake gaming limbo, probably where it belongs. But yeah, you should definitely watch Grandma's Boy. It is hilarious.
Yeah, I've looked at the wiki page. I don't even remember hearing about it.
That's crazy to me. I refused to watch this movie for so long because the reviews weren't good, the critic reviews. Not that I really give a fuck about critic reviews, but I do take them into account. But so many people that I knew were like, I know it sounds dumb, but it's so funny. People that don't typically find dumb comedies that I don't find funny to be funny. So I was like, all right, I have to watch it. And I was like, all right, it's funny. It's like super bad funny. It's a movie that going into it, you wouldn't think you would find it funny, but it actually is really funny.
Maybe I'll have to put it on sometime. I have very few comedies on my watch list, and I could probably use one.
I'm not like super into comedies either. I'm really particular, but this movie's really funny.
I will have to watch it without my wife though, because it stars someone that makes her teeth grind.
Who?
Linda Cardellini.
Oh, she's so good in Dead to Me, though.
I love Linda Cardellini, but she has a grudge against her because of Boy Meets World.
Wait, was she in Boy Meets World?
Yes. The episodes where they took the trip up to the ski lodge and Corey starts flirting with the girl who's like the daughter of the people who run the ski lodge.
Oh, Behind Topanga's Back. No.
Yeah. That's Linda Cardellini. And my wife still to this day holds a grudge against her for that.
Well, she was just acting, to be fair.
To be fair, I can't blame her for it because I have held a grudge against Jared Leto ever since my so-called life.
But she was so good in Freaks and Geeks.
Hey, you don't have to convince me. I love Linda Cardellini. I love, even in movies where she isn't good or where the movie isn't good, I've enjoyed her. Although I will say her recent casting in the Friday the 13th prequel series has me concerned.
Yeah, well.
Mrs. Voorhees shouldn't be a hottie. No.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah. Anyway, we keep getting off track. I think that one was my fault though. Okay. Next one. This is from a horror movie, which I need to see it.
I swear to God, if you pick the one I was going to end on, I will crawl through this microphone and kill you.
I hope I don't. It's like I said, I have not seen it yet, but because of this, I kind of want to see it, even though it did not get good reviews. It's called Stay Alive.
You don't get to talk about a movie video game that you haven't seen, and that's the one I was going to end on.
Okay, then you can take this one.
Do you have it? I'm going to be a dick. Do you have any other ones?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. Cover those because if you haven't seen the movie with Peace and Love, I've seen the movie like 12 times.
Okay, fair enough. Like I said, I haven't seen it. The concept of it intrigued me. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
That's my last one and my favoriteest one, so I'm going to steal it from you.
Then I will pivot to a completely different movie, and it is Wreck-It Ralph.
I didn't even think of that one either. You have really good ones.
Well, kids, so Disney. We watched a ton of it. And I love Wreck-It Ralph. I'm not a fan of its sequel by any stretch of the imagination, but I love the original is a wonderful tribute to video games. And there's two prominent fake video games in it. One being Fix-It Felix Jr., which is an old school single screen arcade game where you play as a little carpenter that goes around and fixes the shit that Wreck-It Ralph breaks, which they ended up making a video game out of. It's an app. It might still be available on the App Store. And the other one is Sugar Rush, which is a candy-themed ripoff of Mario Kart, which is where most of the movie takes place. There's the third one. What was it? It's the Halo-inspired game.
So I haven't seen this movie. I don't.
Oh, you haven't?
No. What's the synopsis?
So Wreck-It Ralph takes place. The video game characters are alive and they're available. They're able to go to each other's arcade games by way of electricity. And the main character, Wreck-It Ralph, he's the villain of Fix-It Felix Jr. He doesn't like being a villain. He doesn't like the notoriety. He doesn't like being the bad guy. He wants to do something good and accomplish something. And so he ends up jumping to another game, which is a Halo-inspired ripoff. I think it's called like Hero's Journey or something. And he wants to try and win a medal. And he ends up causing havoc in that game and ends up getting kicked into another game, Sugar Rush, which, like I said, is a Mario Kart game, and ends up meeting a racer who has been booted from participating in the tournament because she's glitchy. Her name's Vanellope. John C. Reilly voices Wreck-It Ralph, and Vanellope is voiced by Sarah Silverman. And he ends up getting tied up in trying to help Vanellope get into the tournament, because if he can do that, then he can get his medal back. Long story how it gets involved in there. And if he can get his medal back, then he can go back to his own game and get recognized as a hero. But then the arcade thinks that Wreck-It or Fix-It Felix Jr. is broken, and it's a race against time. And I'll leave it there. But it's very much a tribute to arcade games. You've seen Roger Rabbit, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. What Roger Rabbit is for a love letter to animation, in the way that it like had Bugs and Mickey and Woody Woodpecker and a million different animation characters. This does that for video games. Like the hub, the surge protector acts as the hub, and in there you can see Q*bert and Sonic and dozens of other characters, references. There's graffiti where it says Aerith lives. So all sorts of little nods. Oh, there's Wreck-It Ralph attends a Villains Anonymous meeting, and there's like Zangief and a zombie from Resident Evil and a ghost from Pac-Man and just all of these little Easter eggs of video games. Really charming, very sweet movie. Kind of thing you just put on because you just want to feel good and have a fun Disney-ish time.
I have to watch that and Ready Player One.
I don't have good things to say about that one.
All right, maybe I won't watch that one then.
Try it, see what you think about it. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I did not enjoy that. I found it very shallow and dull. Wreck-It Ralph used the pop culture references or the other video game references as seasoning. Oh, hey, look, Hubert's in the background or whatever. I found Ready Player One to use pop culture references as a crutch because it didn't have enough to stand on its own.
Yeah.
So it was like, look, here's Back to the Future. Remember that? Here's King Kong. Remember that? Isn't it cool? No, it wasn't.
All right, I won't watch it.
All right, what's your next one?
Hyper Death from Rick and Morty. So this one doesn't ever get shown. I feel like it doesn't have to, but the name says everything. It sounds like a game that eats your soul and then you thank it. So Morty is having a full-on breakdown while playing it, and Rick calls it realistic. So what is it? Maybe a bullet hell shooter coded by an AI trained on Reddit threads and apocalyptic war crime footage. Who knows? It's never released, never explained, and we don't really know. But it sounds awesome, and if it's enough to make Morty have a full-on breakdown, then I feel like it's worthy of being played.
Yeah, I could say the game that causes people to have nervous breakdowns would inspire my curiosity.
Morty, I feel like, has more breakdowns than the norm, but that's okay.
All right, my next one is another movie from the 80s. It's another one that's, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on your list, or if you go, oh shit, why didn't I think of that one? The movie is The Last Starfighter.
I don't know it.
Wow! Okay. Now I get to be shocked that you didn't know about it. So The Last Starfighter it kind of borrows from the Polybius urban legend, but in a twist. So The Last Starfighter is about a guy who gets really good at a game called Starfighter, which is very much, it's a first person space shooter, kind of like the old Star Wars arcade game. You're flying around, you're shooting things. Pretty simple. Evil Empire, blow them all up. What you find out in the course of the movie, though, is that the arcade game is actually a recruiting tool looking for the person who can beat the game so they can be recruited by an actual intergalactic group of rebels who need an expert pilot to destroy an evil empire.
I love it.
Total 80s kid wish fulfillment. You only see the game a little bit, but like I said, it's a simple first person, like a Wing Commander or TIE Fighter or something like that. But come on, who hasn't wished that they could take their video game skills and use them in real life somehow? And that's what Last Starfighter is. We're using this game to test your skills.
Yeah, that would be badass.
All right, your turn.
Oh, I only have one more. Do you have?
I have two more.
Do you want to? Okay. However you want to do it. I can go and you can do two, or do you want to do another one? Whatever you want to do.
I'll do another one.
Okay.
This one is fairly groan-worthy. It's from a terrible, terrible movie. It is from the 8th Hellraiser movie, Hellworld, and it is the aforementioned title. It's a game called Hellworld. It is an online MMO RPG game that is apparently based on the Hellraiser series, which makes no sense because then that means that the Hellraiser series is a series of movies within the movie that we're watching, which totally fucks with canon. And then someone decided to make a video game out of it. They don't really explain very well what exactly you're supposed to be doing in the game. It's just an MMO based upon Cenobites.
Absolutely not. I want nothing to do with that game ever in any reality. Never.
Neither do I, mostly because it just looks like shit. But and it was from the era when Hellraiser went straight to DVD or straight to video. So
Now it's straight to Hulu.
that is true. All right, let's get away from the stink of that one. What is your final game?
Stay Alive. I'm sorry I took this from you, but I actually love this movie. I've seen it so many times, and I was like, I cannot fucking let him talk about it if he's never seen the movie.
It's okay. I probably was stepping outside of my domain in that one. So you are more authoritative in this topic?
I love this movie so much. I'm sorry. Like, it didn't do well. One of the reasons why I love it now, especially more as an adult who frequently watches Always Sunny, is one of the McPoyle brothers, isn't it? And if you watch, I know you don't watch Always Sunny, but if you do, then you'll know. But it's a movie about, it sounds really basic, and it is, where if you die in the game, you die in real life. That's the premise. So it's great. So the game itself is a cursed gothic horror, allegedly developed by an anonymous team who digitized the life and crimes of also somebody that I know a lot about. If you're curious about this woman, I have an episode on it, by the way. Elizabeth Bathory, she was a 17th century murder nun. She wasn't a nun, but essentially she thought that if she killed young peasants and bathed in their blood, that she could exist forever and it would keep her young. And so she killed a fuck ton of people. It's really fucked up. I do an episode on it and the whole history of it. Shameless plug. But now she's somehow haunting the code of the video game, because that happens all the time. So players, when they die in the video game, they end up dying in real life the same way that their characters die in the game. And people know this, right? It's becoming a rumor, and yet people are still fucking playing it and just dying. It's great. If you fall off a balcony in the game, guess who's tripping face first into a chandelier or a gate IRL? It's like The Ring meets Silent Hill, but with worse graphics and the mid-2000s teen casting. But here's the thing. The game mechanics suck. There's permadeath. Nobody likes permadeath unless you're a psycho. In a good way. I can't play permadeath. And there's a gaming mechanic where you can only use certain weapons against specific spirits. And there's a rule that you have to read the cursed prayer aloud to start the game. So this cursed prayer is obviously what binds you to the game. So when you read the cursed prayer, if you die in the game, that's what makes you die in real life. I feel like it's just classic horror logic. And yes, they play it on a burnt disc with no label because of course they do. I feel like this game would have done really well IRL. It's a creepy, hyper-violent survival horror title. And I don't know, I feel like Steam would eat that up. I feel like somebody should remake it and market it like it's a haunted demo. It was trying to be a don't play a cautionary tale, but I feel like we all would have played it immediately. Loved the movie. You should watch it. It's corny, but I don't know. I love it.
I did put it on my watch list. I am interested in it.
It's cheesy, but I'm not going to lie, but I don't know. I love it.
Sometimes I can really get in. If I'm in the right mood, a cheesy movie scratches a certain itch.
It's not bad, though. It's not a bad cheesy.
You know what the gimmick reminded me of when I was reading about it? It reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street in the sense that if you die in your dream, you're dead for real. And often the way that a person would die, especially in the later movies like 4 and 5, the way that someone would die would be reflected in how they would die in the waking world. That mechanic reminded me of that, which intrigued me because I love Nightmare on Elm Street.
Me too, especially young Johnny Depp. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. One of my first crushes is from Nightmare on Elm Street, Heather Langenkamp.
She's really pretty, yeah.
Oh my God. She still crush.
Good hair.
Yes.
Good hair.
My last game is from my all-time favorite TV show, which is Community.
I've never seen
it. Oh, that hurts so much.
I don't know that I've even heard of it. Sorry. I'm going to Google it really fast, though.
Community is, for those who haven't seen it, the basic premise is about a guy who faked a law degree, became a lawyer anyway, and got busted for it. And now he has to get his job back. He has to go back to community college and get a bachelor's degree. And he goes to this community college that is frankly insane. And he ends up making a study group because he wants to hit on one of the members of the study group and try to sleep with them, and they become a group of friends.
Donald Glover's in it. I love Donald Glover.
This was pre-Childish Gambino, pre-Atlanta Donald Glover. This is where Donald Glover's star was made.
Oh, but I have to watch it now. Although I don't really I don't know if it's Gillian or Jillian Jacobs. She pissed me off in Girls. Not to redirect, but
you'll enjoy her in this because her character is kind of insufferable.
She's insufferable in so many characters that she plays. She's obviously doing her job well.
Yes, she's fun insufferable in this, though. Alison Brie is adorable. Joel McHale, the whole damn cast is. Even Chevy Chase.
What? Chevy Chase?
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
Oh my God, Ken Jeong. This is a crazy cast.
Yeah, it is. And trust me, the first few episodes are a little rocky. They're a little kind of finding your footing, but you get to about episode 6, episode 7, and it starts to cook. And once it starts cooking, it never stops.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this cast: John Oliver, Walton Goggins, Brie Larson, Jonathan Banks, Jack Black. Okay, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it. All right, sorry.
Some of those are guest stars. So
But
just
still.
so you know, you're not going to see them every episode. But still, yeah, it's a hell of a show. So 3rd season, 20th episode is called Digital Estate Planning, and the story of it is that Chevy Chase's character, Pierce Hawthorne, he's the son of a guy who founded a moist towelette company. His dad had passed on, and he's coming to the office to get his bequeathal, and he has to bring his friends. And it turns out, to get his inheritance, he has to play a video game with his friends. And the video game is called Journey to the Center of Hawkthorne. It is an 8-bit side-scrolling multiplayer RPG. And what's great about this is that 90% of the episode takes place within the video game. You see the video game, and you see the characters you see the characters from the show as the characters in the video game, going through it and battling and dealing with the ramifications of what they're doing. It is such a bananas concept for an episode because the live actors are barely even there, other than voice, but it's so much fun watching. Only 1 or 2 people in the group are gamers. Everyone else isn't. So they're also like, not only are they fighting for their friend, but they're also trying to learn how to play the game, and they don't know how to do it at all. And the game is not intuitive, and they're competing against someone who is cheating, and the game is just insane in its development. Like, the further they go, the deeper the game gets. I don't want to give anything away because it's there's so much to it, especially jokes that are buried within the game. It's so, like I said, it's my favorite show, and it's one of my favorite episodes of the show. Cannot recommend it enough. And the epilogue to all of this is that a super fan went and created Journey to the Center of Hawkthorne. It's available online at greendale.itch.io if you want to play it. I have not had the chance to play it yet. I've watched videos of it though, and holy shit, it is, whoever did this put the work in.
You should put that in the episode show notes too.
I think I will do that. Just looking at it is bringing a smile to my face because it's so damned insane and fun. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to try the game and also try the show.
Yes.
If Walton Goggins isn't it, because Miss Venus and the Ghoul and Fallout.
He's only in 1 episode.
That's fine. That's enough for me. And
And
Donald Glover.
He's in the first 4 seasons and part of the 5th season.
Love Donald Glover.
Yeah, you will love him in this. It is such a great show.
And Joel McHale, not to sidetrack too much, but what was he on The Soup? It's not that I didn't find him funny. His humor wasn't for me, but he hosted a reality TV show, game show called The GOAT with reality TV stars. And I watched it because there was a star that I hated from a reality TV show that I watch all the time. And he was actually so fucking, was it The GOAT? Maybe it was House of Villains. One of those shows. Anyway, he was the host and he was fucking hilarious. And I'm like, all right, maybe Joel McHale is funnier than I previously thought. That's the end of my rant on him.
I think this will help convince you. This will push you over the edge.
All right, I'll try it.
He will, at first, you're going to find him smug because that is what the character is supposed to be. But as the character develops and you see his insecurities and you see his neuroses, you see why the character is smug. And that's every character's like that. They have some defining characteristics. Some are positive, some are negative, but the negative ones are there for a reason. And it really fleshes them out as people.
I'm convinced.
Awesome. And speaking of awesome, we are at the end of another awesome episode. How do you like that transition?
Hell yeah, brother.
That's professional. Wasn't forced at all. Before we get into the normal plugs, I do want to let everyone know I have been on a couple of different podcasts in the past month or so.
I've been on none. Just kidding. Go on.
Well, one of them I reached out to, but it's been a long time coming. The other person reached out to me. One of them is called Behind the Camera with Andy Games, and the other one is Drink O'Clock. Please go out and check both of them out. They were a ton of fun. I had a blast with both of them. We talked games, we talked movies, we talked being a parent, pop culture, all sorts of shit. And both of them were it was great to just kick back and relax and shoot the breeze with people. So please go check them out. They're great podcasts and hosted by great people. As for this podcast, if you would like to follow us, we are on social media, First Gen Gamers Pod on Blue Sky and on Instagram. Follow us and rate and review on your podcast platform of choice. If you'd like to follow me, Street to Jed on Blue Sky and on Letterboxd. Ashley?
F that pod on TikTok. I stream a lot, but I don't just stream about true crime. I actually end up talking about video games most of the time. Instagram, _pod.
All right, that is the episode.
Love you guys. Back. Bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.